What's going on, world? SteveDab317 back with another quick video. In this video, it's a bit of a reaction video, but what I really want to do is just kind of delve into how I know in some of my other videos I mentioned that I'm more into lyricists when it comes to music, especially rap music. I probably listen to more rap than any other genre. But I dug out one of, and this is an old song. This song was like, man, I'm 10, 15 years old, somewhere in that ballpark. But it's Lupe Fiasco, which is one of my personal favorite lyricists of all the different lyricists I've listened to. He's probably one of my favorite. So Failure is the title of the song. In the video, it doesn't look great, but basically pay attention to the lyrics. And what I'm going to do is actually, I'll play through like the first verse, and I'll just kind of do a lyrical breakdown. I'll kind of explain. I guess to me, I know oftentimes I say there's a difference between my first time or my first reaction videos and when I actually get to go back and sit and dissect music. So I guess this is just a small glimpse into what I do when it comes to dissecting a song. So.
Yeah. What up? Chi-Town, New York City, Philly, Atlanta.
Now, Lupe Fiasco's great at double entendres. That's one of the things that I think is really clever about him. And a lot of other artists do it as well, but seldom do I find anyone who can do it as well as he does.
Virginia. They said it was coming back around, man. First thing.
Back to the lyrics. Right? So, you know, he's talking about how for so long, especially in rap, it's gotten away from people who actually have lyrical content or meaningful lyrics. You know, it's gotten to the point where who has the best beat, maybe the best girls in their video and things like that. So, you know, this, to me, pure rap is when, you know, somebody can spit out those lyrics and it's something like this. So.
Okay, come back to people like me. I say, it's me, soldiers. Now let me put the streets down like steamrollers.
All right, so real quick, and I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to keep going back and forth, but it's mean soldiers. Now let me put the streets down like steamrollers. So think about it. Right now, we're talking base level, ground level, right? Street soldiers. We're talking about putting the streets down. You know, you utilize a steamroller, right? When they're laying new pavement or whatever, laying the streets. So he gives reference there. Stay with it, though.
With the cats that push. Okay.
Right, so first double entendre there, right? So he's talking about his mean soldiers. Now let me put the streets down like steamrollers with them cats that push. Right, now think about caterpillars, right? So you know the machines or one of the manufacturers of the machines that people utilize when they're putting down those streets is caterpillars. But of course their logo is just cat. It says cat on the side. So you see there's part of the reference there, but then he also goes into the cats that push. Hold on, let's keep it playing.
Push
40 ounces through the hood like King Cobra. All right, so what just happened there? So he took the caterpillars, we're talking about, you know, working in the street, and then also the cats that push. So, like, when you talk about, like, cats is a slang term for, like, people who, just another person, another guy out on the street or whatever, the people who are doing something. So then he goes into cats, using that again in that exact same line, to the cats that push 40 ounces through the hood, right? So we talk about pushing 40 ounces through the hood. Hold on, let me finish this part, and then I don't want to get ahead of myself. And I'm going to go back like 10 seconds, if I can. Alright, streets down like steamroller with the cats that push 40 ounces through the hood like King Cobra. Alright, so cats who push 40 ounces, right? So that could be various type of paraphernalia. It could also be alcohol, but not necessarily in this part of the verse, but in the next part it will be. But 40 ounces through the hood, so cats, the people who live there, you know, selling drugs, pushing things through the hood. And then he goes, like King Cobra. So, like, if you think about a King Cobra when it's about to attack, and then its hood expanding, right? So, all of this ties in together. So, the extra 4 in the spliff is mixed, is really 36. All right, so again, I'm a double. Actually, let me rewind it 10 seconds.
40 ounces through the hood.
Like King Cobra, see we sling soda. So the extra 4 in the spliff is mixed. It's really 36. Now if you think about it, when like a 40 ounce, right? You was talking about 40 ounces. You know, we were talking about pushing drugs or whatever, but also 40 ounce, a form of malt liquor, right? And you know how with malt liquor, you open it up and you pour out, maybe you don't know, but you pour off the top, top a little bit or whatever. And that's how he's kind of going back to there's 36 ounces of actual content there. So that extra 4, you see how he did that? You see how he did? But stay with me though. Stay with me.
Used to buy toasters and clips. You can tighten your
Circle
circle
or
or
boa constrict. Used to buy toasters and clips. And again, slang term for different type of pistols, weapons, or whatever, right? And then he goes, you can tighten your circle. Keep in mind, he already gave a reference to cobras. Now he's still giving another snake-related reference. You can tighten your circle or a boa constrict. Right, that's what's coming up next, anyways. I'm gonna go back. Okay, the split is mixed. It's really 36. Used to buy toasters and clips, so you can tighten your circle or boa constrict. Over the scripts. While you was lighting your purple haze, right? High-end form, or hopefully you know what purple haze is. If not, look it up. But while you was getting high, he was over the scripts, right? He was over there paying attention to the small detail and fine-tuning his craft. The talk, had to get my talk to properly explain my walk, cause it's lacking talk, had my walk looking off. Now, when they see my verbals able, listen. And I'm gonna have to go back 20 seconds. But listen to what he's saying. And if you've seen Usual Suspects, you will absolutely get this reference that he put directly in his song. Boa constrict, your purple, I was over the scripts, and I couldn't walk, couldn't really talk the talk, had to get my talk to properly explain my walk, cause it's lacking, had my walk looking off, right? So think about verbal, right? In that movie, Robert didn't do a lot of talking. His walk was, he had that, he was dragging his foot, and everybody thought something was wrong with him, but he was really a step ahead of everybody else. That's what I'm talking about with lyrics, man. Let's get it. Now I'm over the limp. Now remember at the very end of the movie when they finally caught him on the security footage when they couldn't figure out what happened. If you haven't seen the movie, this may not make sense to you, but when he finally got over the lip, and then see my first able. So listen, remember they were sitting there watching the security footage, and then the cop, the detective, he seen him walking. He dropped his mug because he was like, "Yo, this entire time, the last person we would have ever expected. That's the mastermind behind all of this." Dropped the mug down on the ground. So, anyways, that's what all this is referencing. So,
that's the usual.
And then you hear him in the back. That's the usual, right? Direct reference. When I was po, short, slang for poor. Like when I was poor, I was low, but he used po and low, right? Think about it. Polo, name brand, right? Think about that. Hold on.
Now me and my
Chaps rock purple label. Now, when I was po, I was low, polo. Now me and my chaps, right? You know what that chaps brand is of Ralph Lauren, right? Now me and my chaps rock purple label, right? Keep it in mind, he was talking about smoking perp a little bit ago. Now he's talking about purple label. And what he did, still starting ground level, just like with the song, and he made his way up from polo, and then you got chaps, and you got purple label. You see the theme there? You see the theme? Let's go. And I'm gonna double this back 10 seconds so you can hear it without me interrupting. Oh, I was low. Now me and my chaps cop purple label. It's Ralph Lauren on a rap laureate. His brown nose, they are like out to him. Think about it. Now again, you would probably have to be born in, man, at least by the, I say maybe very early 90s, maybe in the 80s to understand who Alf is. But Alf, the big nose alien life form, is a TV show. I watched it, and I watched it a lot. But he gives a reference to Alf here, right? But stay tuned. He does more. See, Alf had a brown nose. Alf was brown, by the way. But you also know what brown nosing is when it comes to somebody like an executive. Watch this. Cop purple label. It's Ralph Lauren on the rap laureate. His brown nose, they are like out to him. Runners of Interscope is not as stout as it. Right, so you know who Stout is. Look up Interscope Records. Look up who invented. Look at the founder of Interscope Records, and then you will see the reference there. Runners of Interscope is not as stout as him. Interscope Records, right? Please don't Interscope, right? So think about it, Interscope Records, but also Think about entering a scope on like on a rifle, and that's what he ties that in. That's what I mean, like the double entendres and the lyrical just cleverness in this song is unparalleled by most. So
It's gonna be a whole lot of
IV and respirating, I lean out this window with Irene. Now, let me paint this picture. So oftentimes when an individual is referencing a chopper, as we call them, or representing, oftentimes rifles get named, right? So when he talks about leaning out the window with Irene, think about a rifle, right? So I'm gonna double back and we go tie all this together. We'll tie all this together.
It's not as style as him. Please don't enter scope.
It's gonna be a whole lot of IV, right? You know what an IV and respirator, right? It's gonna be a whole lot of IV and respirating if I lean out this window with Irene. As tall as Yao Ming, right? With LUP Impera.
With LUP Impera.
It's the foundations, beams, and the antennas. Right, so think about the theme that we've talked about with this song. He's talking about the foundation, the I-beams, then the antennas, right? It's all progressing up. Everything. The only way to go is up, right? Starting ground level from wherever you are, wherever he was, wherever this song was, right? Because we started off with Land of Streets, right? The very basic minimum, right? That's the foundation to which everything else was built on. But listen. It's so serious every time I write my Jan Hop. Oh, you see Detroit. I'm gonna go back because I messed that up. The antennas. It's so serious every time I write my John Hancock. Like, real quick, let's look at that. It's so serious. Impera.
It's the foundations,
I-beams, and the antennas. Now, it's so serious. Think about the Sears Tower and how people say that when the sky is clear enough from the Sears Tower, you can see across, right? So stay tuned because all of this is going to tie in together. It's so serious, so he's talking about that. But also when he talks about it's so serious when I write my John Hancock, right? His signature, right? Because when you sign something, that's when you know it's serious. So also using the slang version of serious when he says serious, right?
Niggas as tall as Yao Ming,
with LUP Impera.
It's the foundations,
I-beams, and the antennas. It's so serious every time I write my giant Hancock light. Can damn near see Detroit. Cause it's scared of heights. It's this wrap in aluminum foil, some potpourri, a little machine oil. Now, it's saran wrap, right? Think about it. If you're trying to move something, I don't want to get too deep into the details because I don't want to have like a channel that gets demonetized or anything like that. But when he talks about wrapping something that he's trying to keep concealed and saran wrap, then aluminum foil, then a little potpourri, right? Then some machine oil, right? Pay attention. I'm gonna go back again, but listen. Detroit, niggas is scared of heights. This is saran wrap with aluminum foil, some potpourri, a little machine oil, and stack my papers to throw off my scents. Stack my paper and throw off my scents. Now he's wrapping something, right, so that dogs can't smell it, right? So he's throwing off their scents, right? Their sense of smell, right? But he also talks about stacking his paper, right, and throwing off his cents. Think about cents, spare change, right? The little small amounts that don't even matter. Keep that in mind. This is top flow, better look out below. Same as a semi from the second. All right, and I'm going to go back and let it play again, I promise, but stay with me. So, you know, he's talking about stacking his paper and throw off the cents, right? Think pennies, right? And then he goes into the next verse. Pennies from heaven is the same as a semi from the second, right? Because they say that a penny off the top of the Sears Tower or even the Empire State Building, they say if somebody threw a penny down, it would hit somebody dead in their head, it would take their life, right? It's deadly. Think about that. Now I'm double back, and I'm letting it keep flowing out. Like, damn near see Detroit. Niggas is scared of heights. This is saran wrap in aluminum foil, some potpourri, a little machine oil, and I stack my paper to throw off my scents. Flow better look out below. Pennies from heaven is the same as a semi from the second.
And I reign supreme. Turn your
Umbrellas upside down. Did you even catch the change in theme? This is gangster. Listen, and I reign supreme. So keep in mind, he started from the very bottom. Talked about the I-beams, talked about everything else, talking about where he is currently, right? Working up towards the top. And then he talks about turn your umbrellas upside down, right? Turn your umbrellas, think about an upside down umbrella. Did you even catch the change in theme, right? What was the theme of this song? What was the theme of this one verse, right? So the thing, which is the majority of the song, I will say, but the theme being ground level, right? We were talking about the cats that push drugs through the hood, or we were talking about the caterpillars that were laying down the base, for buildings and structures, and slowly but surely working our way up. So now think about the change in theme. You see that change, right? But also in terms of following the theme, remember moments ago he said he stacked his paper and throw off his scents, and he was talking about wrapping up the paraphernalia to throw off the dog scents, and he was talking about throwing a penny off the top of the Empire State Building, right? Now keep in mind that spirit, that's the change, right? So turn your umbrellas upside down. Did you even catch the change in theme? This is gangster.
A to the F
To the I, to the A, to the S, to the C, to the O. From the west side of the C to the H, to the I, C, A, to the G, to the O. This is gangster, man.
This is gangster.
Listen, so look, and I don't even know how long this video is. If you want to, actually, I'll post a link if you want to listen to the entire video without hearing me talk over it. Now, what I will say is I can't say all of my interpretations are 100% accurate, but what I can say is, like, this is what I enjoy doing, and this is why I love music so much, and this is why I'm so much into lyricists. So you will notice me, doing a lot of reactions to Tom McDonald, because there's a lot of content to what he's saying. You'll notice me doing a lot of reactions to Harry Mack, because there's a lot of substance to what he's saying. So like, for me, in music, I love music that encourages me to think. I love music that I can listen to the first time, like, oh, that's pretty tight. And I listen to the second time, like, oh, I never noticed that. And I've listened to this song at least 100 times. And this is probably one of my favorites. Like I said, he's definitely one of my favorite lyricists, the people I've listened to. I continue to search and look for new people. But like, personal opinion, like, if a person's entire album is about money, drugs, females in some derogatory way, and if that's their entire album, like, odds are I won't listen to it a lot. I respect a person gets to rap about, just like I make reactions the way I see fit. That's their own thing. It's not my style, but I'm sure there's somebody out there, or a lot of somebody's out there, who are into that stuff. That's why they drop that type of content. But anyways, hey, this is an insight into the life of SteveDab317. I appreciate you watching, checking this out. Hopefully you enjoyed it. But yes, when I talk about how much I love music and how I'm in a lyricist, this is it. Stay tuned for more.